What if every word you speak quietly tells people whether to trust you or not? Maybe you've felt it. You keep talking, the room gets quieter, and yet somehow you're losing them. It's not just your sentences they're judging, it's your presence. In every conversation, people are asking a silent question. Is this person clear, or are they trying to convince themselves? Marcus Aurelius left us a compass. Let your words be plain and direct. Not plain as in boring, plain as in disciplined. Because the way we speak is the X-ray of how we think. Picture two moments. In the first, someone fills the air with reasons, caveats, nervous laughter. In the second, a person stands steady, says one clean sentence, then lets the silence carry it. Which one do you trust? In an age of noise, clarity feels like leadership, and that's the promise of Stoicism. Not louder arguments, but a calmer authority born from self-control, awareness, and an inner spine that doesn't bend for approval. Here's where we're going. We're going to expose 5 quiet habits that drain your presence, then replace each with a Stoic practice you can use today. Because clear speech isn't a talent, it's a training. It's the daily work of choosing what matters, saying only that, and letting your consistency do the convincing. Think of your words like a blade. The sharper it is, the fewer strikes it needs. So as you listen, try this. Notice where your voice hustles for acceptance and where it simply stands. Ask yourself, if I said half as much, would my presence say the rest? By the end, you won't just sound different, you'll be different. Speak less, mean more. Let your calm do the heavy lifting. Now, let's begin with the first habit that silently erodes trust and how to cut it out for good. The moment you start over-explaining, people stop listening. You've been there trying so hard to make someone understand you that your words start tripping over each other. You repeat the same point, add one more detail, another justification, and by the time you stop, the silence in the room feels louder than your voice. Here's the truth. When we talk too much, we're not convincing others, we're trying to convince ourselves. Seneca once said, "When a man no longer believes in what he says, he speaks more to hide the emptiness in his mind." Think about that. Every unnecessary word is like a layer of fog, it blurs your clarity. The more you explain, the more you reveal your uncertainty. In contrast, people with true confidence don't rush to prove anything. They speak simply, directly, and then stop because their silence does the rest. In the noise of today's world, the rarest voice is the one that knows when to stop. Clarity isn't born from saying more, it's born from knowing what truly matters. The Stoics practice this daily discipline. Before you speak, ask yourself one question. Is this necessary? If it's not, choose silence. Because silence is not weakness, it's power under control. In the next lesson, we'll uncover how your body, not your words, can speak volumes about your strength or your insecurity. Your body speaks before your mouth does, and people believe it more. Have you noticed this? You say all the right words, but your hands won't stay still, your shoulders cave, your eyes dart. The message lands, but the person doesn't. The Stoics understood a simple law of human nature. Body language is truth in a language we can't fake for long. Epictetus put it plainly, no one needs to declare they're confident if their posture already says it. Think of a general walking into a room, back tall, steps unhurried, gaze steady. He hasn't spoken, yet the room has heard him. Here's the psychology. The nervous system leaks through movement. A fidget is a whisper of doubt. A rushed sentence is a sprint away from discomfort. But the reverse is also true. When your body is steady, your mind follows. So practice presence like a Stoic. Posture. Plant your feet, lengthen your spine, let your shoulders drop. Pace. Speak 10% slower than feels natural. Let a beat of silence seal your key point. Breath. 4-second inhale, 6-second exhale twice before you answer. Stillness. Rest your hands at navel height. Use deliberate gestures only when needed. Focus. Choose 3 points in the room to make calm eye contact. Hold each for a full thought. Remember, silence doesn't make you smaller, it gives your words gravity. When your body stops negotiating for approval, your message stops asking permission to matter. Stand like someone who can carry their own weather. Speak like someone who isn't afraid of a pause. Let your presence earn the trust your sentences can't. Next, we'll tackle a subtler trap, waiting for permission to lead, and how a Stoic turns responsibility into quiet authority. Stop waiting for permission to live your life. No one's coming to crown you, to pick you, or to tell you that you're ready. Yet so many of us wait. We wait to be noticed, to be invited, to be told it's our turn. And every time we do, a piece of our confidence fades. The Stoics called this what it really is: dependence on approval. A quiet chain that looks harmless, but keeps you small. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do not wait for someone to show you the right path. Act as if you already know it. Because you do. Deep down, you know when something must be done. But instead of moving, you look around, checking if it's okay." That hesitation, it's not humility, it's fear dressed as politeness. Real leadership doesn't begin with a title. It begins the moment you take responsibility. It's not about controlling others, it's about controlling yourself. So the next time you're in a meeting and your instinct is to ask, "Can I say something?" Stop. Replace it with, "I have something important to share." That small shift in language changes the energy in the entire room. When chaos erupts, organize. When silence grows heavy, offer clarity. When fear spreads, become the calm center others can stand on. That's Stoic leadership, not loud, not flashy. And yet there's one habit even stronger than hesitation that destroys trust, the fear of truth itself. Let's face that next. Peace built on avoidance isn't peace, it's a quiet surrender of yourself. We've all done it. You notice something wrong in a meeting, in a friendship, at home. Your chest tightens, your mouth dries, and you tell yourself, "It's not worth it." You call it kindness. But avoidance is not kindness. It's self-betrayal in polite clothing. The Stoics were clear. If you refuse to face the truth, you slowly stop trusting your own judgment. Seneca warned that a person who won't speak truth cannot live truthfully with themselves, and that's a debt the soul will always collect. Here's the psychology. Short-term avoidance buys relief. Long-term avoidance compounds fear. Every time you silence yourself to keep the water still, the storm moves inside you. Stoic courage is not about hunting conflict. It's about refusing fake peace. Try this in practice. Name the reality, calmly. One sentence, no drama. "This timeline isn't realistic," or "That comment crossed a line." Keep your voice low and steady. Volume is a poor substitute for clarity. Offer a path forward. Here's what will work. Here's what I need. Here's how we can fix it. Treat offense as training. When someone jabs at your ego, practice the muscle of composure rather than the reflex of revenge. Ask yourself, if I stay silent now, what part of me am I asking to disappear? Truth spoken with respect is a gift to you first. You don't need to win. You need to be whole. Real authority arrives when your words and your life match. Choose honest clarity over comfortable silence. It may cost you approval, but it will return your self-respect with interest. But even truth loses power if your emotions run the meeting. Next, we'll build the Stoic skill that makes trust unshakable. Emotional stability under pressure. Emotions don't destroy you, your reaction to them does. We all know someone whose mood shifts like weather. Calm 1 hour, storm the next. You can't rely on them. And no matter how smart or talented they are, their instability makes people walk on eggshells around them. The truth is, no one trusts a person ruled by their emotions. Because if you can't master your inner climate, how can anyone trust you in the storm? Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Be like the rock against which the waves crash. It stands firm, and the raging sea falls still around it." That's emotional stability, the invisible power that anchors everything else. A Stoic doesn't suppress emotion. They guide it. They don't let anger drive the car, they put it in the passenger seat and keep their hands on the wheel. Here's a practice. The next time anger rises, don't react, observe. Feel it without acting it out. When someone loses their temper, lower your voice instead of matching their volume. Slow your speech. Let your calm become the gravity that steadies the room. And each morning, remind yourself of what Marcus wrote. Today, I will meet the selfish, the foolish, the ungrateful, but none of them will make me lose myself. That's Stoic leadership, not built on dominance, but on composure. When you control your inner storm, others begin to find shelter in your steadiness. Because once you master your emotions, you master your presence, and that's where true influence begins. In the end, your voice isn't what people remember, it's your presence. Think about it. The people who truly move you, they don't shout, they don't rush to fill the silence. They speak few words, but every one of them lands. That's not luck, it's mastery. The Stoics understood this long before microphones and meetings existed. The art of speaking is the art of self-mastery. A clear voice comes from a clear mind. You don't earn trust by being loud, you earn it by being anchored. Epictetus said it best. Let your words reflect your actions, and your actions prove your words. That's why Stoic communication isn't about perfect phrasing, it's about inner alignment. When your thoughts, words, and behavior move in one direction, people feel it. They stop hearing noise and start sensing truth. So speak less, but mean more. Stay silent, but stay aware. Act decisively without waiting for permission. Because influence doesn't come from volume, it comes from consistency. The quiet strength of someone who doesn't need to prove, only to be. If you remember nothing else, remember this. The calmest person in the room holds the most power. Let your composure speak louder than your voice, and your steadiness earn the respect your words cannot. And if you've made it here, that already tells me something. You're not chasing noise, you're chasing growth. So stay on this path. Keep building the Stoic habit. One day, one conversation, one choice at a time. If video continues to outro, or next topic. Because mastering silence and speech isn't just about communication, it's about who you become when the world gets loud.